Having Deji Akindele on today's edition of MBBF Insta Live has been so exciting and heartwarming. He has spoken as somebody rookie, then coming to become one of the mainstay in the national team, and then becoming one of the veterans. I won't use the word old now, but veterans on the national team who has continued to provide stability. And one of the widest traveled basketball players we have around, who has gone to play pro in different countries across the world. And he's going to be joining us very soon for the last round of today's interview session. Yesterday we had Ike Diogu. If you want to listen again, or if you want to watch, you can log on to YouTube. Go check on MBBF online on YouTube, and then you get to watch Evelyn Akato, a whole lot of them that we brought here to talk to Nigerians about what they've been doing in the green, white, green shirt, and then as professional basketball players. And also during this period that we are having a global lockdown as a result of coronavirus. Deji Akindele has joined us again. Please remove your cap.
It's hot. It's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Let me put it here. So
Exactly.
I'm outside now.
Now,
Yeah.
what do you think that these other players, these upcoming players, should do to become the next Deji Akindele in terms of consistency, in terms of the shift when
Oh,
it.
I wouldn't even tell you to be like me because I know how I was as a young teenager and as a young professional. So please don't be like me. Be better than me. Uh, I mean, I can honestly tell you from, vast experience of mine, my mistakes and my over the last 16 years, it's not easy. That's the honest to God truth. If I tell you it's easy, I'd be lying to you. It's not easy at all. Playing anywhere in the world, it's not easy. Being a professional at anything is not easy. And if you're really serious about being a professional and making this a job, it's a it's a lot that goes in it, and even putting it work and working your butt off every single day it doesn't guarantee you success. It doesn't guarantee that you're gonna make it because I know firsthand. I have friends, teammates that did probably way more than I did, and still didn't make it or didn't go as far as I did. So, uh, number one, you got to work hard. If you don't, you're not gonna make it. Period. And number two, you got to be able to listen. And when I say listen, that's people that are cutting your checks. Because if you don't listen, those checks gonna stop coming, and they're gonna tell everybody this is the kind of person you are, and you're not gonna get no checks. You're not gonna get no call. You're not gonna get no offers. And if you can't play basketball, you can't provide for your family, what's the point of playing? You're gonna get discouraged. The list goes on. Sometimes you're gonna do everything that you think you're supposed to do. You're gonna work hard. You're gonna listen, and you're gonna play for a coach that just don't like your game. And what would you do? Do you leave? Do you keep your head down and keep working hard? Even though you're one of the best on the team, and the coach decide not to play you because he don't like your attitude, or he don't like the way you play, or he don't like your style of play, or you don't fit the system. It's a lot of things that can happen, but you have to be strong-willed to know that you are good. You know, a lot of people will tell you you're not good enough, but you're always good enough as long as you know that you're good enough. That should be enough for you to, wake up in the morning and strive to do better. Because you're never gonna be good enough for everybody, you know. And all you need to be good enough is for one team, you know. And in your own mind, you try to do everything to know that you're ready and you prepare for whatever comes. So if you do your part, you know, and keep God first, and you know, put your best foot forward, I don't think you will have, you know, a lot to worry about. You know, not everybody gonna play in the NBA, and that's why there's so many leagues out there for people to actually stand for themselves. You know, I know a lot of people that play, you know, in Europe that make way more than people that play in the NBA than the 14th man on the roster or the 12th man on the roster. You know, when you talk about, you know, tax-free money and free housing and free cars. So it's a lot of ways, a lot of countries, a lot of places you can actually better yourself and get a head start. So you shouldn't, you know, feel bad about not making to the NBA your first try, your second try, your third try. You know, there's outlets out there that's been provided that you can, you know, you can explore and go get that chicken.
While we were talking about trying to produce another Deji Akindele, Ugo Udeze just came online and said, never again should we have another Deji in the national team. Um, I think the people should also know that he was just trying to joke because he was the first person that got to a scholarship in the US, right? The
Yeah,
same,
yeah.
and then over time he has metamorphosed from just being an agent or looking for scholarship for kids in the US to being a kit manufacturer in 2017. It really came true for the national teams, the men and women, when we were having issues with how to keep the guys going to Tunisia and then how to keep the ladies going to Mali. And then for this now, this were the part of the first generation of kids they
Yes,
did for
sir.
Nigeria. Then
Yeah, that's my big bro.
since 2017, and then we still using it. I think it's all about the quality and also the evolution. They have so many designs, so you can go and check them out. They have websites. They're on Twitter and also on Instagram. Check them out and then patronize them. And then you know what? I can guarantee you 100% quality because it's Africa made for Africa.
Africa. Yes, sir.
Now, did you going forward to the next question? Compare and contrast when you first came to play for the national team and then what you are seeing right now, you know, in terms of management, administration, and then the setup.
It's night and day. Like it's a lot better now. You know, I think it has a lot to do with being in 2000, you know, being the year that we are too, like in 2020. Uh, everything is advanced. You know, you can't compare, you know, 2020 to 2010. You know, everything was different back then. But, you know, I can't discredit, you know, what the people that have come before this new federation has done. You know, I played for a federation that I enjoyed, and I played for a federation that I didn't enjoy. So, you know, I cannot, you know, take away from, you know, everything those guys have done. And, you know, the people that didn't do it right, you know, it was a learning process. It was a learning process. And the people that I did now, I can honestly tell you they are actually trying. You know, they're trying. I mean, it's visible. You can see that they are trying. You know, but the thing is, when you're dealing with, uh, I'm talking about kids that have never been in a situation where they have to struggle for anything, they expect everything to be A1. You know, but people like us that came from the grind and see how the national team used to be, and you know, you having to do your own laundry and stuff like that, and having to, you know, go downstairs and fetch water to go use the bathroom and have to be in line because it's a co-head bathroom, or having to have a, you know, like we went through that. So we see the difference, but they don't see it. You know, people that coming in tomorrow or they're gonna come to the next camp, they expect everything to be like where they're coming from. So it's gonna be so hard for them to understand, like, oh, you think this is good? You should come see my team. We fly private. You know what I mean? Like that's what they see. So we dealing with new generation, and it's gonna be two different. It's gonna be two different way of saying things, and that's where we come in to trying to tell them like, yo, trust me when I tell you this is way better than it used to be, and they were like, for real? Then yeah, trust me, and we tell the stories, and they were like, well, shoot, I feel sorry for y'all, like that, because we are there to tell them the story of what it used to be like. That how long we've came.
Um, as money replaced the important role of patriotism playing for Nigeria or playing for the national.
You say as money replaced it?
Yeah, the role of
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anybody on the national team has ever came to the national team because of money. Um, I think it would be a good thing if that could be something incorporated. Where when guys come, you kind of like up the incentives of you know of what guys gets, or how do I put it over. It's not about salary because a lot of people make way more than you know what they're gonna get the entire time on the national team in a few weeks. But I mean, like the incentives. When I say the incentives, like the meal money, the per diem, the hotels, the bus travel, you know, the flights, you know, economy comfort for the for the so-called regular people, and the NBA players business class or whatever, like those kind of incentives is what I mean. It's what makes people, of course, money that costs money, right? So yeah, does have something to do with it. So that's what I mean by that. But I don't think anybody ever came to the national thing thinking they're gonna make a whole lot of money coming to play for the national team. I mean, it used to be something to look forward to because we used to have a lot of college kids that comes in because we didn't have a lot of NBA players that was coming in. It was just European pros and college kids. So those college kids, they look forward to the per diem because they need that to go back to school and whatever. But it's not the case anymore.
Okay. I think giveaway Nigeria just joined us. It reminded me that by tomorrow, Deji Akindele will be giving out 1,000 naira recharge card to 20 people. The way we're going to do it: 10 people on Saturday, 10 people on Sunday, so that it will go round. If you win tomorrow, then you are not entitled to win on Sunday. And then for you to be eligible, for you to know what we're doing, you have to follow the Jakandele on Twitter. You have to follow Nigerian Basketball Federation Twitter handle so that you can be a part of this largesse. So I'm putting him on the spot. Although we've discussed this before now, but right now I'm committing him publicly. So for him to know that this is what he has to do. What were the challenges that you faced as a rookie, and how did you surmount those challenges?
My rookie year was very, very, it was very difficult for me. I would say it was a learning process, but it was difficult because I was with a coach. I was with a coach. First of all, I signed with Golden State not knowing where I'm going. I didn't work out for Golden State. I didn't do, I didn't do, I didn't even know anybody at Golden State, but they saw me working out at Tim Grover's gym. They liked me. and they just decided they were going to pick me. Something happened during the draft. One of the top picks fell to the second round. They ended up picking him, and they brought me in as a free agent. So I was just excited to sign an NBA contract. Like coming from Chicago State, a kid from Nigeria, I didn't care. I was just like, yo, I made it. So getting there, I didn't know any better. I came from a school where being late is okay, or getting there 5 minutes before is okay, and that came that came at a great cost to me because I didn't have anybody to tell me how to be a professional. So when I come in 30 minutes before practice, thinking I'm early, there's other rookies there, 2 hours before, already worked out and drenched in sweats and still, coming in the locker room and stretching, getting ready for practice. And I'm like, how long you been here? Like, since 4. I'm like, bro, practice at 6, bro. You know, I couldn't get that, but there's a camera there. There's the trainers watching you, and they're reporting everything back to the GMs, to the president, and to the coaching staff. So that kind of came and you know, work against me, bite me in the ass, so to say. So, I lasted about 3 months there. Ended up getting waived by them, recommended me to go to their D League team at the time, Fort Worth affiliated, Fort Worth Flyers. I ended up going there. Then I end up on Sam Vincent's team uh, with Ime Udoka, Luke Shansha, Keith Lanford. Some great players played in college because Luke played at Georgia Tech. Keith played Kansas, so it was actually a team that was stacked with stars, like stars that are going somewhere. We end up winning the regular season that year, and we lost in the championship to Albuquerque. So that was hard because I felt like I belonged in the NBA at the time. I felt like that, you know, the guy that they released me for didn't put in enough, as much work as I did. So I kind of felt some kind of resentment. But at the end of the day, he was that draft pick. They signed him to a 2-year guarantee contract. So they had to go with him. So, I kind of took it in stride and went on and played another year in the D League. Didn't get a call up, and I just changed my mind and I was going to go to Europe. I told Hugo, send me to Europe. And my first year was in France, and I never looked back ever since. I mean, I came back and played a few summer leagues, had the opportunity to sign with Toronto, for the season, but it was supposed to be like a non-guarantee. You know, Truth be told, I already verbally agreed to it, because I didn't have no other choice at the time, NBA wise. But a day later, we get to playing summer league. We got to Vegas, and I had a hell of a first day. And the team came and offered me a ridiculous amount of money that I couldn't turn down. We trying to leverage that with Toronto and told them, we have this on the table, but they didn't believe us. They felt that we was just trying to use that to get them to give me a guaranteed contract. But what really pissed me off is there was another player on the roster, on the summer league roster that came in later to minicamp and got a guaranteed 2-year contract before we got to Vegas. He was late to come to camp. And 3 days later, they give him a guaranteed contract. So that really pissed me off going to Vegas already. So when I had the offer, I just told like, yo, just tell Brian, I got a job, man. If they don't sign me or not, and they won't bite. So I just end up signing the contract that year with in Italy, and I think that was my last time. Everyone trying to come back, trying to make the league. The following year, I just went to Vegas on my own, no summer league, no nothing. Just went to Vegas, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna show this fucks that I'm doing good by myself. So I had on few jewelry, and I was sitting right there making everybody see me like I'm doing all right. It was more of a silly young, rebellious, thing to do. But I think I can't complain about how my career turned out. It's been 16 years, and I'm fortunate enough to even play this long. So I'm happy with it.
You've played in the US, you've played in Russia, you've played in Iran, you've played in Spain, in Italy, just name it. Puerto Rico, name the countries, and then you will see that the Jakandele has played in some of these countries. Um, what were Was it just about the money because Michael Eric called you the money man? Anywhere the money is, you're gonna go there and play. Even going as far as Iran to go and play basketball just to make the money. Um, what what were the driving factors for you making those decisions, apart from the fact that you felt that they never treated you well in the US, and then you decided to rebel and then go to Europe, and then were these trips worth it for you?
At first, it was more like, get me the hell out of here, right? So when my first time in France, it was bittersweet because I've never been to Europe before. I don't know the culture, I don't know the language, I don't know anything. The coach was, you know, expected something different from me. They practice twice a day, we practice once a day. So it's like he was like, whoa, like he felt I was lazy because by the time we get to the evening
Some
practice,
some share the opinion though that you're a lazy player but talented.
okay, yeah, I guess I am. But like I was saying, he felt like I was lazy because by the time we get to the second practice, like in the afternoon or in the evening, I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna do this 100%. Like I give you all I had in the morning. I'm just gonna, walk through this practice, like whatever. When Saturday comes, we play. You know how I play. You know what I do. So I always rely on my ability to show up in the games. So I never worry about practice, like per se. So I feel like as long as I show up in the game and help my team win, I'm doing okay. And the reception of the fans in Europe is way different. They treat you like Kobe over there, because you are their Kobe. There's only three, four Americans, so you guys carries the team. So the responsibility that you get is more, and you more. It's like they appreciate you more because you are their heart and soul. So in my first year, when I signed with that team, they were 3-9, and we finished the second half of the season 9-3. So I think I did well for myself, but it was bittersweet because the coach, you know, kept trying to iron hard work in my head. Like, you gotta do both practice. You one of the best play on the team, so you have to work the hardest. And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. I see you on Saturday, and I couldn't get that. It took me a while to understand that it is how it is in Europe. So when I got to my second job in Italy, it was still the same problem, but I was getting better because I've heard that plenty of times, on coach, from him. I've heard that plenty of times. So when I hear it again, I'm like, oh, all these people the same. I feel like all Europeans are the same. So yeah, I've heard this before. So I would, now I know how to politics. I know how to fake like I'm going hard, but I'm really not going hard. Like so I start incorporating different stuff in my practice or in my game or whatever in practice to make them feel like I'm listening or if they say something, I'll be like, yes, sir. Or instead of me, saying this back or saying talking back, I do those things that makes them not feel like you just barking at them. So the more I go back to Europe, the more I start seeing that okay, it's just a way of doing things. There's no going around it. It's two a day all through the season, and you have to do it. Everybody has to do it. You getting paid, you got to do it. You get paid to practice. You don't get paid to play the games over there. So yeah, it was hard, and Europe is hard. It's still hard. But speaking of being going where the money at, I didn't think I started that until about 5 years ago because, or maybe 6, 7 years ago. I don't remember, but I remember vividly it was after the the the, the recession hit. The money went to shit. People that was making 1.5 started getting offered for 300. People that was making 900 getting offered for 150. So a lot of people started retiring. Like I can't do this. I'm not going over. I'm not going over there for that. So what I did, and me and Ugo, kind of did was we're gonna go wherever the money at. Like instead of us saying we're gonna go Spain for 250 or 300, why we just don't go to where people don't want to go and go get the money. And I was with it. I was like, man, I don't care. Send me wherever as long as the money's right. And that's what we did. We went to those places where people, are scared to go, and the money was right, and we went and got it. And I'm not gonna say I regret going there because the relationship and the connection I built, going to those places, have helped me help some guys, get jobs in those countries today, and I can't, I wouldn't trade that. I wouldn't trade that. Like, when we was in China, them that every team that we played against, I know those guys, or I played against them, I played with them. So I was able to give, you know, sip some insight of how those guys play because he's never, coached against the European teams before travel and playing those tournaments. I was able to give him insight. Yo, Russia, I know half of them. They used to be my backup. They used to play on my young team. This how he loves to play. This how he loves to play. We play against Argentina. People I know on there, I told them, same thing. Montenegro, friendly game. Poland, you know, everybody that we played against, I played against or I played with them. So it comes, everything comes full circle. And I was, I'm glad I was able to gain the experience and the money aspect. So yeah, they call me the money man, I guess.
So how rich is Deji Akindele speculations flying around, coming from a rich background and all that, but from what you've made for yourself and with your investment, how rich are you in terms of what you got from basketball?
And when you say rich, you mean rich in life or wealth? Because I mean, I don't have money. I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm broke, but I'm happy though. You know what I mean? Because I don't have any money. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed though, but I don't have any money. Yeah.
Now, your best moment, best career moment, one for the national team, and then one all through your journey going from Europe to Asia to America, the basketball.
The best national moment, believe it or not, I didn't even have to play. To be honest with you, I didn't even have to play. That was China. You know, it was the best moment of my national team, career because I was I was as much, I was happy as much as those guys were, because I was there through the process, you know, of getting to China. You know what I mean? I was there every step. I know what it feels like for Ike not to be able to practice the entire time until we got to China, dealing with, what he was dealing with injuries and whatever. And, some guys couldn't join us until we got to Atlanta. The guys that was waived, the guys that didn't make it past New York, the guys that didn't make it past DR, the guys that got cut after China, after Canada. So all that process I was a part of. So when we end up, being the first team to punch the ticket, everything was surreal. I jumped the fans. I ran, I ran on the court. They didn't want to. I think it was somebody that didn't want to let in from the court. One of the officials, they didn't want to let him in. I went and fought the Chinese security, like, yo, he was one of us, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be in here. So we was in the middle, and everybody was happy. We celebrated together. That was so surreal. Like it felt great. It felt great. Like knowing that you set a goal and you accomplished that goal. Yeah, but you know, as far as pro concerned, I mean, I have many great moments. You know what I mean? But there's no feeling that knowing that you sat down at a table signing an NBA contract, a legit NBA contract. That's like priceless. Like there's a lot of people coming from where I'm coming from that never even get to see an NBA facility, or you know, let alone sitting with the GM, the president, the lawyers, and saying, okay, this is the day. You know what I'm saying? You about to sign an NBA contract. You know, going in the locker room, having your name, on the locker, having the uniform hang, being a part of, uh, National Basketball Association, family or franchise or whatever. Just going through the whole process was like the highest of anything. The whole process to me was like, well, I made it. Like even if it was, short, a few months, but I made it. It was 3 months more than them that millions of people of basketball aspiring players that was born in America, let alone a kid from a small town in Nigeria.
Your favorite number, and why that particular number? Do you have any favorite jersey number?
It's seven. It's seven. I've been wearing seven, ever since I went pro. I wore one in college. It was a reason because the seven was taken by, you know, uh, a veteran guy that was already like the main guy on the team, so I couldn't take that. So when I got pro, uh, I was able to get seven, and I'm wearing seven. If they don't have seven, I wear nine, and if they don't have nine, I wear 17. And seven is because I'm the seventh child. I always just go with number seven. And nine is because if you add us up, plus my mom and my dad, I'm number nine. You know what I mean? I'm the ninth person in the family. And 17 is just like I wore one before, to start my whole basketball career in college. And seven is the next number. So one and seven, together, seven. So it just kind of, makes sense that way, you know, a meaning behind those numbers. So if it's not seven, it's nine. If it's not nine, it's 17.
That was very interesting. Um, are you? Do you have a time frame for you to hang your shoes regarding?
Be honest with you, I keep telling myself I'm not gonna stop until they kick me out, because I don't feel old. I guess basketball has become like I'm not gonna say I have the cheat code. I think I've always been lazy, like people say I am. You know what I mean? So it helps because I know how to
Manage your body?
exactly. Some people, they call it lazy, they call it whatever they want to call it, but it's helped me to stay around this long, to not, beat myself up as much, because there's no way you can go 110% in practice and games. Your body can only take, so much. So I don't feel any type of way when I'm on a basketball court. I only feel old when I'm practicing. You know what I mean? So when it's game time, I always feel the same because I'm looking forward to kick, somebody that's 25 and they're thinking, oh, that boy's old as hell. I'm finna score on him. I'm finna score 30 on him. And by halftime, they go in the locker room breathing hard as hell, like, and they still only have 6 points. I'm like, oh, think it's sweet, like I take pride, in, coming out and having people look at me like, oh, your whole head, man, it's about to be field goal there. And, it's always a disappointment, that disappointment in their face when I always go ahead and, you know, win a game against them or win a championship in a country where, they didn't expect me to do it, or I would come to a team where they weren't doing so good and everything would change just being me, on the team, or I'm the only change they made on the team. It's just it's an excitement there to know that I'm still productive at this age. So, like I said, when that time comes, either my body will tell me to sit down, or the contracts or the call are gonna stop coming in, then yeah, of course you're gonna know it's time to to take a step back, or you never know. I mean, I'm the guy that that is always optimistic about the next opportunity. You never know. I might run into one of my ex teammate or ex coaches and be like, yo, you know, how you feel about being, come to join us, and that could be how I hang it up. I could be called to come be a part of an organization as in a capacity, in a different capacity as an assistant coach or player development or whatever. And you never know. It happened to Ime. I talked to Ime. It was on his way to Spain. He signed a contract and everything already. And Pops called him, told him, how much he's making over there or how much the contract is. And he told him, he said, okay, if we give you that, you know, you join us, And he decided not to go to Spain and went and joined Pops. And, he's never looked back since. He wasn't even planning on retiring. He was only 36, so you never know. Never say never.
Um, Now that we're talking about retirement and then plans for the future, do you see yourself still in the game when you stop being a player, possibly as a club owner in Nigeria, possibly as a coach or as a scout? What role do you see yourself playing in the future?
I see myself still in basketball. Player development, of course. I would love to be able to share with young guys, or guys coming in, what I've learned over the years, and just to pass down the knowledge, to young guys. Coaching wise, I don't know. It's way more to it. It's way more political than a lot of people know. I mean, if that happens, if that presents itself, I'd be open to it, just to learn, how how it works and everything, and how the ropes. Sip always joke with me, when we in practice, like, yo, you're gonna be a hell of a coach. Like, you have the natural, you a natural at it. Like, you'll be like, look, I got coach. I don't know, I can't coach. This kid's too. They like me. Most of them are stubborn, just like me when I was young, and I can't deal. I'd rather just be a player development coach, like work for somebody one on one, show them what I know, and see them being able to apply that in the game, be rewarding. But you never know, whatever happens, we'll see moving forward. I know, I have a lot of friends out there that's moved on to coaching and doing great things now. Uh, I mean, you never know, but yeah, but I definitely, 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 definitely know that I'm gonna be in somewhere in basketball. I'm gonna be involved in basketball for sure.
Okay. We've seen players, probably in basketball, in football, after a sterling career um, overseas, they go back home to probably finish up last year or last 2 years, just to encourage other people that I've been there, now I'm here. You can aspire to be there, and then still come back and impact on the next generation of players. Are you thinking of that? Are you thinking of coming back to Nigeria, probably to put in one season with either Canopilas or Warriors or Islanders?
I don't know that if we keep running 1,000, that I can't. That I don't. That's never crossed my mind. I'm not even gonna lie, never crossed my mind. But I'm not the one to say never. I've been in Nigeria doing camps, every other 2 years, you know, kids, showing them, that it's possible. If I can do it, you can do it, just like you said, having an all-star game against the best of the best on in camp, playing against us, me and my friends, and me playing against them and showing them how tough it is to play against the pro, or or whatever. So yeah, that has been something I've been doing for a while. But me signing in Nigeria professionally, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's possible or it's not possible. And now that this African League, NBA African League, is absolutely, anything is possible. The money is right. It's business. It's not personal. I would love to play in my country in front of people that actually knows me, or can relate to me. Why not? You know, why not?
You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly side of playing for Nigeria. You've been to Europe, you've been to America, you've been to Asia, you've been everywhere in the world playing basketball. Uh, you've spoken about the need for things to get better, and then for us to get it right when it comes to the administration of basketball in Nigeria. Do you see yourself vying for the presidency of Nigerian Basketball Federation in the nearest future?
That's a tough question. We were just talking about this in the group chat, I think 2 days ago. Somebody's trying to nominate me to be to be a president or the manager of the team. I said, no, not me. I don't like politics. Um, I'm very honest. So when it comes to politics, I don't do well with it. So it would be hard for me to be in that kind of position when people don't like to be called out. So if I'm the president and somebody is stopping me from doing my job, and I go calling them out instead of trying to be political and saying, okay, we haven't get this, or we haven't received the funds, or trying to cover for them, why should I cover for you? When you making me look bad. That's just the kind of person I am. So I don't think that would be suiting for me. But at the same time, if I have to do it, I will. But I don't think I'll be the guy to be able to, to kind of, you know, to say, trying to do everything like the way he's supposed to be done, Nigerian way. I don't see myself doing that. So, I will be that guy, calling the players and telling them exactly what's going on and how it's supposed to be, and this is what the situation is. And I will have lots of enemies. So yeah, that would be a tough one right there.
Um, in view of the recent international recognition that has continued to come Nigerian way or Nigeria way when it comes to the men basketball, and then people are trying to be a part of the process. The latest rumor being Spencer the Windy uh, wanting to play for Nigeria at the next Olympics. Is this the right way to go? Do you subscribe to the idea of making use of the best available talent, whether they're born in Nigeria, whether they're Nigerians, or whether they're naturalized as allowed by FIBA?
To be honest with you, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of naturalizing players, and that's just being honest. Because I feel like we've done it. We've came here by ourselves. By the power that we had, being everybody being of Nigerian descent. Even being like their mom or dad or both parents are from Nigeria or have some kind of Nigerian blood. And we've done a great job getting here. And if we didn't make it here, people wouldn't want to join us and be a part of what we're building. But at the same token, that's the rules. The rules allow you to have one, one player that you can naturalize and give a passport to. And if you have that ace in your back pocket and you feel like it can help, I think anybody will use it. So is it the right time to use it? It's not for me to. It's not for me to say. Do we have every right to use it? Absolutely, we do have every right to use it. And they feel like it's the right time to pull the ace out and use it. And we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Regardless of the naturalized or no naturalized. You put on that uniform and you fighting for us the same way we're gonna fight for you. And you're one of us. You're one of us.
We saw the team at the World Cup in China. Areas you think we need to improve on to make a bold statement in Tokyo?
See, with us, we've always been a defense-minded team. We've always been when the young guys come in, one thing we tell them is, you know, we don't allow easy basket. We don't allow second chances. So we have always been a defensive-minded team. That's how we want people to see us. Like we're gonna try to block everything, and when you take a shot and miss, you're not getting no rebound. And we feel like the more defensive you get, rebound you can touch, it leads to offense. What I'm saying? It gives you a chance to push the ball on fast break, and trying to get teams, on guard, like, slipping, trying to catch people, on their heels or whatever. So our defense has always been that number one priority. But on offense, we tend to lack fluidity. My bad. I'm trying to find that word, but we trying to, the fluidity on offense is sometimes tends not to be there because we play around few players. You know, is the offense is run around few players and everybody else just have to go and do the dirty work, like grab the offensive rebound, set screens, catch lobs or pass instead of having everybody as a threat on offense. I think Mike Brown would be good in that aspect. You know, bringing a NBA offense or go to state type of offense where everybody is lethal and can do damage on the floor. It's gonna be 4 out, 1 in, where from 1 through 4 can shoot the ball, and the five, will be able to shoot, 17-footer and still be able to post up and do, at the same time. So we already have the identity, on defense. And if you had the type of offense, coach, gonna bring to the table. I mean, he's been in Golden State, system for a while. So I'm thinking, or I'm hoping that's gonna be the same type of, you know, flow he's gonna try to bring to our offense. So, it should be something interesting to see how, both, our defense, decent defensive mentality, combined to the offense gonna work out. Yeah, but yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a sight. It's gonna be a hell of a. I just hope I'm somewhere in the stands if I'm not on the bench to watch it.
Michael Jordan or LeBron?
MJ for sure. Basketball wise, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean, MJ for sure. I mean,
Okay. Let's
I'm an
let's go.
MJ fan.
Let's go personal now. Fine boy, smooth talker, socialite. You have the cash, a lot of girls around you. How do you cope with your female admirers? Don't lie.
Just
Don't lie.
I don't have a lot of admirers, but the thing is, you just have to know yourself. If you know yourself, then you can't be swayed. If you know who you are, like a lot of people just, you know, tend to feel like, okay, she's famous, she's an Instagram model, or she's pretty, or this is the ideal, you know, girl that I should be seen with, and they go for that. If you know yourself and know who you are and you know what you stand for, all that stuff shouldn't sway you. It should be about the connection that you make with that person, and how intelligent is that person, what they bring, you know, to your life to complement what you got going on. So if all of that don't add up, then I guess it's just play. Like, it's different between a relationship and a play. Some girls you meet and you know you guys kick it and you keep it moving, and there's some girls you decide to have go in a relationship with, and a lot of people be in a relationship with people that they feel like it would be good to see on your arm, and those kind of relationships don't last. So I would say, just make sure it's somebody that you can get along with, make your best friend, understands you, bring something to the table to complement what you already got going on, and you compliment her, and you will be fine.
What's your relationship status? Married, single, confused, situationship? Where are you right now?
It's complicated.
So are you available?
Nah, it's complicated.
How is it complicated?
I mean, that's a relationship status. Yeah, it's complicated. You married, you're single, all of that.
At
It's
the same
complicated.
at the same time,
Hmm.
you're married, single,
No, I'm
and
just saying, like, that's
that,
one of those. That's
that's not
one of those
saying the same.
categories.
You are
Yeah.
saying you're married, you are single, and then you are still mingling.
No, 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 no. Don't put me on that bus like that. It is complicated.
Why is it
It
complicated?
is complicated.
Why is it complicated?
I can't explain. It's unexplainable. It's just complicated.
Okay, but you have a lady around you.
No, I don't have a lady around me, but it's complicated.
But are you open to, to new ideas?
Idea of what?
I'm talking about. I don't want to use women. I'm just putting idea.
Am I open to idea of relationship?
I'm in this sense now. Um, replace women with idea. So, are you open to new ideas?
No, no, I'm fine.
Okay. So how do you satisfy? Uh, yeah. How do you satisfy yourself when you
Satisfy
have
myself.
yes when you have that urge? As an
Urge.
athlete, you work out a lot, and then at the end
Well,
you need to.
I have Buki and Chimeze, Chineze. So I have a Yoruba and an Igbo girl. So come together, you are good.
Okay.
If you understand what I'm saying.
I'm trying to understand you,
You
but
understand me?
but
This is Buki.
for a
It
lot of
does
people,
she does a
a lot
good job, and this is Chineze, Abi Chinaza or something like that in Igbo or whatever. Yeah, they do a good job, you know. Then, that's how it is.
okay. What's your idea or ideal lady? Forget about spiritual, must be culture oriented, must be respectful, but in terms of the physical attributes, what do you look for in a lady?
I really don't have a type. I just when I see something that I'm attracted to, I know it, right away that I'm attracted to the
No,
physical.
no level, anything goes.
Yeah, but my eyes will always tell me like, okay, that's your type. Number one, check. Yeah. Then you get to know the person or talk to the person and see where their mental is. Then that's check. Then you get to ask them, go deep and ask them, what do you do? Where do you see yourself? Like that. Okay, are we compatible? If this was supposed to go on, or if we're supposed to live in the same house, how did this? How do you see it going? Like all those stuff. Later on, you find out. But at first, it's all about the physical. And I don't have a type. It can be short. It can be tall. It could be whatever. black, skinny,
And be
or Chinese, anything. But if I see it, I know. You know. Some people, have preference. Dark skin, light skin, Latino, this and that. But me, I have to see it to know. I can't just tell you this is my type and you see me next time with somebody totally different. You're like, oh, I thought you don't like. So that's why I always say I don't have a type.
okay. You've been to so many places. How many how many ladies from different races have you dated? Probably you've gone down with Nigerian girls, American. Can you do body count for us?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
No, but you told us that you were going to answer us honestly and answer
Yeah,
us.
I'm honest. I
No, no,
plead the fifth.
that's not an honest.
I
That's
can't even count.
for you to plead the fifth. That
I can't
means
even count.
okay. Just give us a rough estimate.
It can be a rough estimate because that would be lying. If I don't even know the number, that means I'll be lying if I just throw a number out there. If I throw 1 million, you'll be like, you're trying to tune your own horn. And if I throw less number, you'll be like, it's trying to downplay it. So let's just say I don't know the number. That's why I had to play the fifth.
You work with the fire brigade. You fire anyhow.
No, I'm cool with the fire department people, but don't start any fire.
But you fire, right?
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with Root Boy. I'm cool with the
Maybe
chief. I'm cool with the chief of staff for fire department, but I don't start any fire.
maybe I should tell Nigerians some of the things I see when we are at a hotel.
Go ahead. I mean, go ahead.
So let's go to quick questions. Quick questions. Um, Best Nigerian food for you?
Oh man, jollof rice.
Um, R&B or rap?
R&B for sure. I'm old
What?
school. I'm old school.
Really?
Yeah, I'm old school.
Favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone all day.
Preferred brand of car?
Huh?
Preferred brand of car?
Brand of car. Anything German.
Your best accessory that they always see on you?
That you always see on me.
Mm-hmm.
My phone.
Longest relationship ever?
Longest relationship ever. 9 years.
Mm. They broke your heart or you broke the person's heart?
9 years.
All right. Deji Akindele, it's been nice having you here. I think we spent 3 hours, longest ever. You've been so difficult to get. You say that you are waking up late or I will sleep off and all that, but 3 hours has been worth it for a person who doesn't talk, who likes to do his things in a very quiet way. I really appreciate your time, and I wish you all the best as you sit out the coronavirus. You all the best when you step back on the court when all these things are over. From me to you, from the Nigerian Basketball Federation to you, from all your fans to you, we wish you all the best in your career, and then we pray that you stay injury free, at least reasonably free from injury, and then win more medals.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just want to tell everybody out there because I know this is affecting everybody, not only Nigerians, all over the world. Like wherever you at, I pray God got you, and we're gonna get through this, you know, together and come out stronger. And everybody have to just pray up and hope for the best because it's not easy.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're
Um,
welcome.
To all our fans out there, we'll see you again on Monday for another fantastic edition of MBBF Insta Live. Nominate the players that you want to see, you want to hear from, and then we'll see what we can do and make it happen. From us to you, bye for now.